A former church daycare worker accused of sexually abusing multiple children faces 3 new charges. Cameron White was arrested last month for sexual misconduct that allegedly took place on or about January 20th. He's since been charged with 3 other charges of sexual misconduct, some of which occurred before the initial incident. And just today, we've learned that evidence from the investigation has led to 3 more charges being filed against White, all for sexual abuse of a child under 12, bringing that total number of charges to 8. White is held in the Madison County Jail on a now $400,000 bond and will appear in court on February 18th.
The Justice Department under fire tonight, facing criticism for over-redacting information about individuals who may have aided Jeffrey Epstein. In a 2014 email released in the files, a person writes to Epstein, quote, "Thank you for a fun night. Your littlest girl was a little naughty." But the identity of the individual who wrote that message is redacted. And in this image of Epstein's inner circle from the files, we see associates like convicted co-conspirator Ghislaine Maxwell and Epstein's assistant Leslie Groff, but several others in the graphic are blacked out. The release files also showed numerous email exchanges that appear to describe the procurement of women. New Brazilian just arrived, sexy and cute, 19 years old. A 2013 email to Epstein reads from someone at a Paris modeling agency. That sender's name, redacted. I found at least 3 very good, young, poor. A 2018 email to Epstein reads, "Meet this one," the person continues. "Not the beauty queen, but we both likes her a lot." This sender's name, also redacted. A DOJ official said in a statement to CNN, any fully redacted names are of victims. In many instances, that it has been well documented publicly, those who were originally victims became participants and co-conspirators. We did not redact any names of men, only female victims. Names of law enforcement officers were also among the redactions. Also included in the released Epstein files, a highly controversial draft indictment from the 2000s that would have charged Epstein along with 3 others. They were described as having been employed by Epstein and having conspired to persuade, induce, and entice individuals who had not attained the age of 18 years to engage in prostitution. Their names are redacted.
So you have a Justice Department that's leadership cared more about protecting the men who committed these crimes than the survivors who were victims of the crime.
The law that forced the DOJ to release the Epstein files mandates the DOJ to make certain redactions, such as identifying information about victims and child pornography. Some individuals who helped connect Epstein with young women were also victims. Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche acknowledging errors were made and that his department is working around the clock to correct failures to redact victims' information.
You're talking about pieces of paper that stack from the ground to 2 Eiffel Towers. And so the minute that a victim or their lawyer reached out to us since Friday, we immediately dealt with it and pulled it down, and we're continuing to do that. We knew that there would be mistakes.
Epstein survivors are outraged.
Publishing images of victims while shielding predators, it's just a failure of complete justice. Why should anybody come forward? Because the justice system is not going to be the justice system.
MJ Lee, CNN, Washington, D.C.
This is a beautiful American tradition, and it's a true honor to be back with so many incredible leaders and people of faith at the National Prayer Breakfast. I think I've been here just about every time. It's hard to turn it down. I don't have the courage to turn it down. Sometimes I want to. The last time I came, I got in at 4 in the morning. They said, "Sir, you're going to be speaking at 7." I said, "Really? Oh, that's wonderful." I said, "Where?" "National Prayer Breakfast." I said, "I'll be there. I'm afraid not to be. I need all the help I can get." Because last time I was having a lot of fun. We had a big crowd. We had 60,000 people, and I'm talking about the fact that I will never make it to heaven. I will never, ever. And I was being funny. I was trying to be, you can't be sarcastic with them because they write your words, and they don't. The people who are reading the words are much different than that. But I say, I'm never going to make it to heaven. I just don't think I qualify. I don't think there's a thing I can do, but all of these good things I'm doing, including for religion. Religion's back now hotter than ever before. I mean, I have to tell you. But I said, even though I did that and so many other things, I named things, I said, I won't qualify. I'm not going to make it to heaven. And the New York Times did a front page story that Donald Trump is questioning his life and the meaning of his life. No, I was just having fun. I really think I probably should make it. I mean, I'm not a perfect candidate, but I did a hell of a lot of good for perfect people. That's for sure. Right, Mr. Speaker? Well, thank you very much, and thank you to Pastor Paula. The last 4 years previous to the one that we served, the last 4 years were brutal on religious leaders. They were brave. Some were very brave. Some couldn't take it, and a lot of people understand it. Some were brave, really brave. The Department of Justice recently charged 9 individuals for storming a church in Minnesota during a worship service and trampling on Americans' First Amendment rights. I watched that tape, and, you know, that was violent. I saw the people sitting there, Pam, and they were scared. Some were scared and some were holding up their hands like, I believe in God. But they were violent people, screaming, your parents are Nazis. Your parents are Nazis. The people are sitting away. And I thought the minister was great. He was so calm and good. They're screaming at him. Terrible. Right in the middle of a church service. It's got to be illegal. I mean, Pam is doing it. I'm not doing it. But Pam is doing it. And I'll tell you, people are happy with the job that's taking place because they're bad people. They're bad people. You have one Trump hater in particular that just, I watched his performance. It was terrible. They try and use freedom of the press and all this to get out of a criminal event. But they were, that was a horrible thing to witness. And if we allowed that to go on, you wouldn't be able to have a church. No, everybody would be afraid to go to church. And that we are not going to allow, are we, huh? And we have one that doesn't get there. We have one guy. He's an automatic no. No matter what, if we did welfare reform, if we did the greatest thing in history for religion, no matter what we did, no matter how good it is, greatest tax cuts, and we just did the greatest tax cuts in history, he voted against. He voted. Now, no matter what we do, this moron, no matter what it is, we could put them all together. I think, Mike, what would you say the top 5 things? Name them. We'll put them in one bill, and we'll put them before we'll get 100% vote, except for this guy named Thomas Massey. There's something wrong with him. We call him Rand Paul Jr. You know, it's like they just vote no. They love voting no. They think it's good politically. The guy's polling at about 9%. It's not good. Sir, I can't quite get there. I just don't know. Could I come over for breakfast? You know, we have a 9 o'clock vote, right? You know, I've done more for religion than any other president. Certainly modern-day presidents. They bailed out on you. They bailed out. They want to be neutral. They want to be neutral or against. But it is true. But then I said, but that's not saying much, because not too many presidents have done too much for religion. I want to tell you that. Certainly modern day presidents, they bailed out on you. They bailed out. They want to be neutral. They want to be neutral or against. You know, the Democrats are against. I don't know how a person of faith can vote for a Democrat. I really don't. And I know we have some here today, and I don't know why they're here, because they certainly don't give us their vote. I certainly know that we're not going to be convincing them to vote for a little thing called voter ID.
Today we remind him that the lives of millions of people are in his hands, and that he has the power to turn mourning into dancing, or to reduce the country into a cosmic elegy of chaos and suffering. And it is because of this that we pray that the best of this president would rise among us. For the sake of this nation, for the sake of this world, we pray that goodness and mercy would announce themselves in his life in new and powerful ways. We pray that he would be mindful of the poor, and that he would be invested in the elevation, the alleviation of suffering happening on farms in the Midwest, in the families preparing to bury their loved ones in Minneapolis. Remind him that we are all Americans, all made in the image of God, and that none of us are free unless all of us have our freedoms protected.
we can make our country and the world a safer, stronger, more peaceful, and more faithful place.
Face a world without any binding limits on the strategic nuclear arsenals of the Russian Federation and the United States of America, the two states that possess the overwhelming majority of the global stockpile of nuclear weapons. Throughout the Cold War and in its aftermath, nuclear arms control between these governments helped prevent catastrophe. It built stability and, when combined with other measures, prevented devastating miscalculation. Most importantly, it facilitated the reduction of thousands of nuclear weapons from national arsenals. From strategic arms limitation talks to New START, strategic arms control drastically improved the security of all peoples, not least the population of the United States and the Russian Federation. This dissolution of decades of achievements could not come at a worse time. The risk of a nuclear weapon being used is the highest in decades. Yet even in this moment of uncertainty, we must search for hope. This is an opportunity to reset and create an arms control regime fit for a rapidly evolving context. The Secretary General welcomes that both the Presidents of the United States and the Russian Federation have made clear that they appreciate the destabilizing impact of a nuclear arms race and the need to prevent the return to a world of unchecked nuclear proliferation. The world now looks to the Russian Federation and the United States to translate these words into action. The Secretary General urges both states to return to the negotiating table without delay and to agree upon a successor framework that restores verifiable limits, reduces risks, and strengthens our common security.
Governor Green's fourth State of the State address was big on policy and apparently big for gamblers. One gaming website reported close to $450,000 was wagered on what's called predictive market websites. Some lawmakers say that's gotta stop.
As long as gambling is illegal in Hawaii, I think we need a comprehensive law to make sure that all types of gambling are illegal, including gambling that's through this loophole of predictive markets.
These websites allow bets on sports, but also non-traditional wagers on things like the weather, when the government shutdown would end, even political races. Right now, they are technically legal in almost all 50 states.
There's a lot of different prediction markets out there. They're using it as a way, though, to skirt gambling laws in Hawaii.
Well, this is the same problem we have on Wall Street. This is why we had the Great Recession, because they're allowed to legally gamble. This one is more problematic because it pertains to state issues that can be manipulated and people can be taken advantage of.
For example, lawmakers note the governor's address is given to many people, including themselves and the media, an hour before he speaks. Lawmakers say it's comparable to insider trading on the stock market.
You know, you have all sorts of scenarios where you could have these markets being taken advantage of by people who have inside information. And so, you know, we're just asking for people to get ripped off.
What the loophole is now you're predicting a future event that's the outcome of a sports game, the outcome of a military raid, the outcome of an election. And those kinds of things are much closer to the kind of more sports betting, gambling aspect than it is to actual stocks.
Massachusetts is the first state to ban predictive market websites from sports wagers because it got around the state's sports betting regulations. Other states also looking at how to regulate them. We reached out to Kalshi and Polymarket, two of the biggest prediction market websites, but did not hear back. A hearing on the matter is scheduled for tomorrow. Reporting from the state capitol, Stephen Florino, KH12 News, working for Hawaii.
FanDuel is launching a new platform in Alabama, despite the state's ban on sports betting. The company says FanDuel predicts isn't gambling, it's futures trading. Users can buy or sell contracts for as little as a penny, predicting outcomes on everything from sports to oil prices and cryptocurrency. The platform is rolling out in 5 states where sports betting is restricted, including Alabama, Alaska, and South Carolina. FanDuel says it's regulated by the Federal Commodity Futures Trading Commission, but it remains unclear whether Alabama will consider this gambling under state law.
When it comes comes to Super Bowl commercials,
why didn't they invite us?
Well, we're salty.
the competition to win your attention may be just as fierce as the competition on the field.
When you talk about the Super Bowl, the pressure is always high.
Ricardo Marquez is the vice president of marketing for Michelob Ultra, one of the many beer brands that's owned by Anheuser-Busch. This year's ad is called the Ultra Instructor, featuring big names like Kurt Russell,
Strapped in.
and Lewis Pullman, who skis against NHL player and former Olympian TJ Oshie and gold medalist Chloe Kim for the ultimate prize, not having to pick up the bar tab.
Here we have the opportunity to connect with an audience of 100+ million consumers.
Last year, more than 127 million people on average in the U.S. tuned into the Super Bowl, according to Nielsen. It's consistently the most watched event on television every year. For marketing companies, it's a whole year of planning on the line that boils down to 30, or in this case 60, seconds on the clock.
This was a multi-month process.
And it comes with a multi-million-dollar price tag. NBC, which is carrying the big game this year, says some companies are paying upwards of $10 million for a 30-second spot. And while Michelob Ultra won't release what they paid, they did say it's a big financial investment, which is why their team spends an entire year working on it.
Humor, nostalgia, or inspiration, emotion always wins on the Super Bowl stage.
Marcus says, well, you want to create something memorable, the ultimate goal is promoting your product. They also measure success by how much buzz the commercial gets online, which is why many companies now release their ads ahead of the Super Bowl. And Monday morning, it's back to the drawing board to come up with next year's big idea. For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
A longtime clothing retailer could be next on the chopping block. Outdoor apparel store Eddie Bauer is expected to file for bankruptcy and close all of its stores in North America. Parent company Catalyst Brands also oversees brands like Lucky Brand, Aeropostale, Nautica, and Brooks Brothers, but they are not expected to be impacted. Physical books could be making a comeback. Spotify will allow premium subscribers in the U.S. and U.K. to buy hardcovers and paperbacks through its app in partnership with bookshop.org starting this spring. Spotify says purchases will directly support bookshops and authors. A recent survey from the Conference Board revealing nearly half of executives find cybersecurity to be the biggest threat to business, followed by supply chain disruptions, but AI, the least of their concerns, all the way down at the bottom of the list at just over 30%. And Trader Joe's is now the #1 grocery store in America, blowing past Publix and Costco. In a survey of more than 30,000 people, TJ snagging a satisfaction rating of 86 points, up 2 points from 2025, according to the American Customer Satisfaction Index. CJ Papa, Fox News.
After 3 weeks of declines, the flu is coming back in a big way. The CDC reports infections are up 18% nationwide. Right now, 41 states are reporting high or moderate levels of flu activity. That's down from a peak of 49 in December. But a new strain of influenza A is sending folks back to hospitals in big numbers.
We were seeing a lot of emergency room visits, which is to be expected. We were seeing a lot of people are coming in very sick.
ERs and doctors' offices are starting to get overwhelmed once again, and health officials are pleading with folks to take precautions such as hand washing and face masks, and also stay alert for flu-like symptoms.
We highly recommend that if people are feeling sick, if they've got a fever, cough, shortness of breath, runny nose, especially this month, they go and get tested.
And of course, most doctors say the best way to protect yourself is with a vaccine. And if you haven't gotten one yet, it's not too late to roll up your sleeve.
This is a bad flu season, and when the numbers are written on this one, people are going to be grateful to have had the protection of the vaccine.
Meanwhile, some drug makers, including Moderna, are using mRNA technology to create new vaccines that will be geared toward older people and those with serious illnesses.
They're older and they have a comorbidity factor. And those are the people that benefit the most, and we are exactly going into that direction.
The CDC says there have been more than 18 million flu cases in the U.S. so far this season. In Atlanta, Jonathan Seri, Fox News.
Here we go again.
Melania about the current First Lady in the lead up to last year's inauguration appears to have boosted viewership of a film about a predecessor, as the new documentary made the box office top 5 last weekend, becoming the 2020 Netflix doc about Michelle Obama, based on her best-selling memoir, had its viewership rise more than 13,000%, according to data provider Luminate.
Hello? Yes, I'd like to report a stolen car, please. My 91 Camry! We found your blue Toyota Camry. I'm Amanda, you have my car.
$273.
I have to pay that to get my stolen car back?
Oscar nominee Rose Byrne stars in Tow as a woman living in her car until it's stolen, and she's thrown into a legal battle against a broken system. Dominic Sessa, Demi Lovato, Corbin Burnson, and Oscar winners Ariana DeBose and Octavia Spencer co-star. Tow, based on a true story, opens in theaters March 20th. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
24. My car is...
For 400 years now, we've been looking for the source. Here you are.
He comes to find his princess.
Count Dracula.
It's a scary weekend at movie theaters, starting with Luc Besson's vision of Dracula. The film stars Caleb Landry Jones as Dracula alongside Christoph Waltz.
Did you come here to pray for her?
You killed her.
Everything I've ever cared about is gone. You took it from me.
The Strangers Chapter 3 is the third film in the rebooted franchise to release since 2024. Rennie Harlan is back in the director's chair for the conclusion of the planned trilogy.
Can you translate any of it?
To talk, it can also mean to...
Summon the dead.
Go for it, babe. I dare you.
Do it. I think I'm gonna pass on the whole ghost summoning death whistle.
Whistle finds a group of high school students stalked by unknown forces after, you guessed it, using an Aztec death whistle. Watching with the lights on in Hollywood, I'm Rick Damigella.
The markings read.
Teddy Mellencamp!
An emotional reveal on The Masked Singer Wednesday with Teddy Mellencamp unmasked as Calla Lily.
For those of you who don't know, I have stage 4 melanoma and it metastasized into my brain and my lungs. And I went through radiation and now I'm in immunotherapy. And my last appointment, they said there was no current trace of cancer. And that was a 1% chance.
She shared what it meant to her to be able to do the show and feel strong.
I would say physically, I'm doing a lot better. My speech is better, all of those things. My memory is better. So I'm very grateful for all of that. And then I would say mentally, that's where I'm having a little bit more of a hard time. But first you're in fight or flight. So I was in fight or flight. I got to get through this. I got to get through this. I got to beat this. I got to, and then after that happened, then it was like, okay, this is the effect this had on me.
We spoke with her about how she's feeling and what led her to The Masked Singer.
It was such a great thing to be able to do and to be able to show myself that I could do it. And the best is yet to come.
Mellencamp performed a song very close to her heart.
It's just kind of crazy to be singing a song about your mom and dad. Jack is John and Diane is Vicky. So it's like, that's all I could think about. I'm singing a song about my parents.
She can't wait to hear from some of her biggest fans.
Definitely my kids. Definitely my kids. Like, they're just so excited.
I love you all.
In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
Roses are red, violets are blue. This Valentine's Day, there's a horror show for you. For fans of Halloween's spooky skeletons and ghastly gargoyles, a Valentine's Day twist.
Yes, love is the scariest thing.
Loveland, Colorado's Haunted Manor invites guests to a late 1800s wedding celebration that may or may not be a love story gone wrong.
We'll see how that love unfolds or doesn't.
And for passionate fans of monsters and matrimony, for $175, you can literally get married inside the haunted house. How's that for a fairy tale happy ending, or whatever's happening right there? If your love life is a bit of a horror show, feel free to feed your ex-Valentine to an animal. Symbolically, of course, sickos. The San Antonio Zoo's Cry Me a Cockroach Valentine's fundraiser lets you name a cockroach, rat, or veggie after an ex or not so special someone. The zoo will let a hungry animal chomp down on your lost love namesake, hopefully letting you exercise some demons with the X Tex-Mex, turning your heartache into a tasty treat supporting wildlife conservation. Prices range from $5 to $15 depending on your selection, and apparently that's a discount. The zoo saying we are rolling back pricing to help with your vengeance, giving jilted lovers a chance to get back at their former flame in a healthy and helpful way on the cheap. Doesn't that look delicious? Ugh. For Take a Look at This, I'm Patrick Cornell.
Man-O-War will come up here.
The key finding is that you have a very basic organism, doesn't have brain or eyes. They still can sleep. We see them sleeping for 8 hours per day. And I think they're doing that, we know they're doing that in order to reduce the DNA damage that is accumulating when they are active. And when you sleep, even if you sleep in fragments, you don't sleep for the total 8 hours, but you sleep in fragments during 1 hour, for example. But when you sum all the fragments when you are resting or sleeping, it can be coming for 8 hours. It's helping to reduce this DNA damage in the cells.
Do you think you're getting anything for Valentine's Day?
Yes, I expect something.
You know, probably flowers or chocolate. Not dung.
No.
Yeah, you're not hearing things. We are talking about dung. Would you ever consider getting someone a commemorative
piece of feces? No.
It's part of a Maryland Zoo fundraiser called Dollars for Dung. All you have to do is donate $5, and the zoo will name a pile of you-know-what after your ex, sending the donor a PDF certificate to commemorate the occasion.
They can send it, they can post it, they can do whatever.
The money is then used to fund the zoo's conservation efforts both in Maryland and in native habitats around the globe.
It's a zoo. There's lots of poop. We don't talk about that as much, but this came out of, grossly enough, a lunchtime conversation, and it's sort of spiraled into this.
Kind of nuts. Kind of bizarre.
Sure, nuts, bizarre, and also popular. This is actually the second Valentine's Day the Maryland Zoo has run the Dollars for Dung fundraiser. Last time around,
we received donations from over 30 countries across the world. I think we touched all but 2 continents.
Leading to a total haul, Zoo COO Shannon Brown tells us, of just under $10,000.
It's a lot of jilted lovers.
It's a lot of jilted lovers.
Did you know that you can get weather impact updates 24/7 on Fox 54 Plus? Here's how. Go to Fox 54 Plus on your Roku, Fire TV, Apple TV, or Samsung. Once you're on the main screen, push the down arrow and click on the Fox 54 Plus Weather Impact 24/7 block. Here, you'll find radar, current temperatures and conditions, traffic cams, forecasts, and more, all available on demand. Want to get back to the main channel? Just push the down arrow and click on the 24/7 stream button. It's your weather impact updates 24/7 on Fox 54 Plus. Start streaming today.
Fox 54 Plus has your news, sports, and weather. Start your evening with Fox 54 at 5:30, delivering the latest headlines and live reports straight from the scene. Then stay informed with Fox 54 News at 9, featuring your Tennessee Valley certified most accurate weather impact team, tracking everything from tornado threats to traffic delays during severe weather. Fox 54 Sports Extra brings you more of what sports fans crave, with deeper insights, expert analysis, and all the action that matters most. On Fox 54 Plus, you'll also find Alabama politics, plus 24/7 weather radar and real-time forecasts to keep you ahead of the storm. Looking for a quick recap? Don't miss Fox 54 Week in Review, highlighting the biggest stories of the week. Jumpstart your morning with Morning Rush. Fast-paced news updates, featured with uplifting stories from across the globe. Get your entertainment fix with Getting Real, where we break down movie reviews, top 10 lists, and spotlight the newest film. Die Hard fan? Locked On Sports dives deep into the Crimson Tide, the Tigers, college rivalries, and pro action. True crime warrior style? Killer Cases brings you gripping real-life stories that stick with you. Hungry for more? Cooking with Style serves up mouth-watering recipes that are easy to make and impossible to resist. From movie previews before you head to the theater with Take a Look, to must-know headlines from across the region and around the world with In the News. Watch all of these shows on demand and also on the Fox 54 News app. Available on Android and iOS devices. Streaming 24/7.